And again, good morning, and welcome to Interfaith Spiritual Center Worldwide, where we believe there's a power for good in the universe greater than we are, and we can use it. And we are using it every single day of our lives. So if you tuned in at this moment, you have a divine appointment. Nothing happens by chance. We're here together. And we chose the topic of celebration of life. I'm going to just set this right here. And we have the opportunity to turn the routines of work, right? The daily round, which the Hindus called samsara. You get up in the morning, you do your thing, you address your day. Samsara, the daily round. And there is a very fine line between samsara, the daily round of getting up in the morning, doing our thing and going about our business, and nirvana, which is the highest state of heaven on earth that we can attain to. So we can transform the routines of work into celebrations of life and love. And on this day, the celebration where we acknowledge that, we're all having birthdays every single day. In fact, Buddha said it beautifully, that every day is a rebirth. What matters is what we do today. And I love that quote by Lord Buddha, that every day is a rebirth. And what matters is what we do today. This is the hour. This is the moment. And as we acknowledge that every day is an opportunity to step in to this miraculousness and transform the routines of work into celebrations of life and love. And during this time of a pandemic, this time where people are leaving the planet and moving into invisibility, and I believe it is invisibility because they are still peering through the ethers. And I can feel the presence of everyone that I am close to that has moved and crossed over to the other side. And we know that life is a journey, isn't it? Life is a journey. And with each new bend in the road, an old view vanishes and a new view appears. And some just kind of creep along, others are very swift as a runner. But in this journey, we go at our own pace. And as we go at our own pace, we learn, we grow, we evolve. We move through fear-based thinking. And it's very easy to lower our vibration into that energy. And it was interesting, we know our daily life is our temple and our religion. And I live up here on the hill, and I was coming yesterday on the little trail. And as I'm, coming up the little trail, a woman came straight and was turning left and almost hit me. And I put on my brakes, and I just looked and said, "What are you doing?" And with that, she started screaming and yelling at me and gave me the half peace sign. And I thought, isn't that interesting, right? And it shook me. And this is like a peaceful little sleepy community up here. We don't expect somebody to be, turning left without looking. But we do drive defensively. We don't need to live defensively, but it's good to anticipate every outcome. So when I got home, I just went into a deep breathing and wished her well, because obviously when you're so defensive that you've got to give the half peace sign, then you know that there's something going on within. And as within, so without. But we are all called, as we celebrate life and the infinite possibilities that life has for us, to keep on keeping on. I love that quote by Ernest Holmes. Keep on keeping on and maintain a positive, consistent, aggressive mental attitude in the truth. Maintain a positive, consistent, aggressive mental attitude in the truth. I love that. And as we maintain a positive, aggressive, and consistent, and that's to me the key word here is consistent. Because we can be really positive, things are just going great for us, and oh, it's wonderful. And in the next moment, there's a setback. Oh my gosh, it's not working. Remember what Buddha said, that life is like hands clapping. I've got it. I'm never going to lose it. Oh, where did it go? I bought it, I don't. I bought it, I don't. I bought it, I don't. And the key is to have it more than we don't. To always feel the energy, to touch the energy, the seamless hem of the garment. And when Jesus said, I and my Father are one, he was very clear about he had overcome the world of conditions, overcome the world of the effects that showed up. Be of good cheer. I have overcome. My humanness has given way to the divine, and the Christ consciousness arises triumphant and victorious. Be of good cheer. I have overcome. And when we overcome our old fear-based thinking and the way that the habitual way that we have lived our lives, that's a transformation. Be not conformed to the things of this world. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind every single day. The willingness, the absolute willingness to transform the routines of work into celebrations of life and love, to receive value from every single day. And what I know is that while we're here on the planet, really for such a short time, that we are here not just to make a living, we are here to make a difference. And when we make that difference, others in the energy field are healed and uplifted in our presence, because we are allowing ourselves to be transformed by the renewing of our mind, by the renewing of our heart, and the heart is the doorway to the soul. Well, so, people are going to cut out in front of us. This is life. Stuff happens. And we can have that momentary reaction and then go within and just say, hey, I pulled on my brakes, nothing happened. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. And as we're here together to celebrate life and to acknowledge that for every tear that falls, a flower grows in the consciousness of our own heart and soul. And remember, we make the longest journey on the planet. You know what that longest journey is? The 18-inch journey from the head to the heart. The 18-inch journey from the head to the heart. And the heart being the doorway to the soul. So I love Aesop, and he had a wonderful little story about two frogs. And they were very, very hungry, and they fell, they were at a dairy, and they fell in a vat of milk. And so the little Heavyset frog, they were paddling all around, and they were trying to get out, and they would slip down the side of this vat. And the little heavy frog said, we're never going to get out of here, brother frog, never. And the little skinny frog said, no, brother frog, just keep paddling, keep paddling. He said, I'm getting pretty tired here. This is a Sunday. Nobody's working today. No one's going to find us. He kept on in his negative harangue, and the little skinny frog said, come on, keep paddling, brother frog. We're going to make it. We're going to do it. Come on, keep paddling, keep paddling, keep paddling. And they kept paddling, and finally the little Heavyset frog said, I can't paddle anymore. I'm going to just let go and drown. And he did, and he drowned. But the little skinny frog just kept going, paddling and paddling, paddling, and all of a sudden he felt something solid underneath him. And he had churned that milk into butter. And he jumped out. And as we keep paddling in life, and we keep on keeping on, that we transform the very substance within us into something greater, that we can leap forward and out of the abyss that we find ourselves in if we have the courage to transform the routines of work into celebrations of life and love. And that for every, it doesn't take any intelligence at all to think negatively, according to Buckminster Fuller. No intelligence at all. But to lift our consciousness to a higher vibratory frequency, and to realize that as we take it higher, and if we be lifted up, as Jesus said, if I be lifted up from the earth, I draw all men unto me. I draw all good unto me. If I be lifted up from the earth, if I be lifted up from what's going on at this moment, these appearances that show up, these pandemics that show up, the appearance of death and desolation and war and rumors of wars. This is historical. And it's up to those that call themselves spiritual to tip the scales in favor of spirituality, to keep lifting up the thought, to keep lifting up the condition, the appearance, keep lifting up the effects that are showing up, the fear-based thinking, and have the courage to turn the routines of work into celebrations of life and love. And you know that when I was a little girl and I went to Christ Community Church, I was so taken. They used to give us these amazing calendars, and they'd have pictures of Jesus, Mary, Joseph, the disciples, and they were just beautiful. And so I had always wanted my father to make me a playhouse. And as far as he got was a sandbox. And, you know, with great disappointment, right? We're all playing in the sandbox of life, but, you know, I didn't particularly want that. I wanted my playhouse. However, isn't it interesting? When we have the willingness to transform the routines of work into celebrations of life, I took the sandbox, got home, lifted it, that side that was on the dirt, I took all those pictures of Jesus, Mary, Joseph, and all the disciples, I pasted them on that side that was facing the dirt. I went into the house to see what we had, and we had peanut brittle. So I made a little advertisement that I was doing a Sunday service. And I did my very first sermon at 10 years old, in which I talked about the loaves and fishes. And all the children that listened received Holy Communion in the form of peanut brittle. And those that didn't. I was conditional. You got no peanut brittle if you were talking during my sermon at 10 years old. I've kind of shifted that, but no one dares talk during my talks these days. And if they do, well, we just have to forgive and go with them, right? However, Jimmy Rose, bless his little heart, he just always interrupted and never, ever received peanut brittle. So my daughter and my grandson are here, and it's so wonderful. They gave me this little gift. And guess what we're going to have after the service? We're going to have peanut brittle. This is our Holy Communion today. Peanut brittle. Because when I was a little girl, this is all we had. So my mother took pictures, you know, through the bedroom window. And I love that, the story of the loaves and fishes, and give me 5 fish and 2 loaves and transform them to the 5,000, because it's divine substance, isn't it? It's God's divine substance. So everybody was fed, and there was so much of this sacred substance that there was leftovers. We all love leftovers, right? Give me that manna, that leftovers. And energetically, we have the power because we're connected to the one power, which is God. And it doesn't matter what you call God. Call it anything that works for you, but to acknowledge that which is within us is greater than that which resides in the world. I think we have to be like that little skinny frog. We have to just keep paddling when we find ourselves in the midst and over our head, right? And as we keep paddling, something happens to the substance. And suddenly we lift ourselves out of the appearances, the conditions, and the effects. And we're free. We are free. Now, Dr. Would you have me my glasses, dear? Dr. Robert Mueller, who was the Chancellor of the United Nations University for Peace, thank you, dear, in Costa Rica, was a very dear friend of mine, and I used to have him out at my San Diego ministry. And what was so great about that is that he was so sincere and so loving about getting paid $1 a year to be the Chancellor of the United Nations University for Peace. And no, I don't need that. I'm just gonna take the manila folder. Just give me the manila folder. And I want to share this with you. He wrote this in 1989. I mean, really before computers were on the scene and cell phones and all of this. Thank you so much. No, I don't need that. I'll just take it. Yeah. Okay, I want you to really absorb. This is so powerful. Decide the network. Use every letter you write, every conversation you have, every meeting you attend to express your fundamental beliefs and dreams. Affirm to others the vision of the world you want. Network through thought, network through action, network through love, network through spirit. You are the center of a network. You are the center of the world. You are free, immensely powerful soul of life and goodness. Affirm it, spread it, radiate it. Think day and night about it, and you will see a miracle happen. The greatness of your own life in a world of big powers, media, and monopolies. Networking is the new freedom, the new democracy, a new form of happiness. Written in 1989, Decide to Network. And the name of the little tiny book that he self-published is Decide to Network. He passed away in 2010, and my daughter had the opportunity to meet him as well when we were in Costa Rica. And we were at a seminar called Seeking the True Meaning of Peace. And the Dalai Lama spoke. It was a very beautiful gathering. And at the Gandhi Foundation, there's a memorial there at the United Nations University for Peace in Costa Rica. And there's a Gandhi memorial with Be the Change You Want to See in the World. And as we are the change we want to see in the world, something happens within us. And as we find ourselves in the abyss, as we find ourselves over our head, guess what? Keep paddling. Keep paddling. Keep paddling. Because we will transform the substance within us and jump higher, leap higher. So I know that we're all going somewhere. And I love where we're going. And do you know where that is? Higher yet. Where? Higher yet. Where? Higher yet. We are in a high place and we will not come down. None of these outer things move us. We are in a high place and we will not come down. We're going to decide to network. We're going to affirm it. We're going to live by it. We're going to embody it. And we're going to acknowledge it. So I say namaste. The God in me salutes the God in you, and the God in you salutes the God in me. And if I am in that place in me, and you are in that place in you, there is only one of us. Namaste. I say shalom, the peace that passes all understanding. And God bless us, everyone. Please know that I love you. I'm grateful for you. And I do know that we are, through our willingness to transform the routines of work into celebrations of life and love, going higher yet. And so it is. And please take